There are international standards regarding safety. We have the OECD and we have also the ILO Convention. The OECD has the due diligence guidance that has to do with severe risk at the mines and how to mitigate against such. And the ILO Convention also is having the safety and health in mines 170 thereabouts regarding mines and safety. In the United Nations also, we have guiding principles on business and human rights and other international standards that have already captured what needs to be done. Aside from that, we also in Africa have different um, local laws that also aims at safeguarding lives, the mines. And we have environmental standards. We have different laws that, if enforced and compliance, um, um, if we insist on compliance, this could suspend the issue of having deaths at the mines. And you were asking what is my last strongest recommendation. My recommendation is anchored on the fact that mine collapses are not accidental events. These are not accidents. They are predictable failures. They are caused by known factors such as unstable geology. They are caused by over excavation and obviously lack of the ground support that is needed at this site and zero emergency planning, zero emergency knowledge, safety knowledge by these artisanal miners. So when collapses are reoccurring and we are not taking steps at different level of stakeholders, the risk is higher every day. And mostly at these different sites, the risk threshold has already been known to be exceeded. So for the mines to continue operations under such conditions is a known imminent danger of life, especially for women and their children that are with them are the mine sites. I'm talking about the ASM. So it's never an unknown factor or an accident that was not foreseen. That would be a wrong assumption. And what this means in practical terms is that there are mine sites that should be issued stop work orders by government because of their high risks, because they have high risk pits or tunnels parameters that must have been observed. Community leaders, we have a role to play. We can just not be losing lives of our women because they're trying to make a living. The cooperatives, that's why we're calling for formalization. If we have cooperatives and they are formalized and they can have a platform where these safety issues can be discussed and implemented, or even anchored by local authorities, which must be physically administered by the local authorities occasionally to make sure that safety issue is put on the burner of even licensing for these cooperatives, showing evidence of necessary steps taken. So our local authorities, my point, must physically close collapse-prone shafts that are obviously going to collapse in a few days. They must be closed until safety conditions are met. No gold or mineral is worth the life of a human being's life. There is no mineral that is worth it. So when these signs are obvious and it is being neglected, that is irresponsibility. And so stop work orders in itself are not bad. They are not a bad thing. They are a thing to checkmate that we don't have even worse scenarios that could lead to death. Another recommendation, if time permits me, is that we should have in local communities build their capacities to be able to undertake independent ground stability assessments before reopening such closed sites. Before the women or men will re-enter such sites, the basic geological assessment should have been done. This now requires capacity on the side of the local council people. The shaft reinforcements, maybe with simple timbering, or backfilling, or having stable stabilizations, should have been done before reopening such site. And they can also, on one hand, have mandatory surface-based alternatives where underground mining is unsafe, where geology is unstable. Communities should recognize that and should shift temporarily or even permanently from such site to a better alluvial or surface method of mining. They can also shift to controlled shallow pits, not the deep pits that is obviously about to collapse, my women. They are obviously allowed to collapse and we still remain there because of the $2 you're going to make on that day. When you are gone as a woman, the entire family is now put in a serious situation. This can be avoided. This can be controlled. We can take responsibility at the local level to make sure this stops. And yes, these are their livelihoods. This is where they source what to eat. But we have alternative livelihoods. During this suspension period for that mine, we could now create as local councils, as not even subnational or national bodies, we could have a structure that can create alternative livelihoods during this suspension so that the families can have their daily bread available while this high risk and collapse-prone pits are on suspension. So another matter of concern is the response, the emergency response, which must exist when these mines are closed because they are high risk. The emergency response must also be part of what should be audited before mining resumes, because no site should operate without a rescue plan. If there is an emergency collapse, what happens? What should the first responders do? That training, everyone should have that training delivered in their local languages. And this is what we are planning at the Women in Mining Africa to execute. And I will welcome you to join us so that we can develop the programs for women-focused safety protections, where unsupported underground workings are not where you should find women. Women must not be sent there to work, and if they send themselves there to work, there should be some form of regulatory oversight to make sure that what needs to be done, as I have highlighted throughout, is done. And most flood-prone shafts, that is another key matter that I have omitted in my presentation. The flood-prone shafts should also be a matter of concern so that women are not found in such shafts, and so that the right things are done by the professionals to mitigate the impact from such shafts as well. So please, let us activate the suspensions mechanism, and not just activate and make people lose their livelihoods, but rather it's activated and or an alternative livelihood is made available for these women. Please, I don't want to be misquoted that these sites be shut down and our women be thrown into even more poverty. No, there should be a structured plan. The solid mineral sector is now a sought for industry in Africa today. So this is doable, it is possible, it is actionable, and we can follow it up to make sure we don't throw our people into more poverty because of the issue of safety, but rather to have it well planned and well structured to be something that is systemic, that can sustain the livelihood of our women. Thank you very much.